Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I got every trophy, including the Platinum Trophy on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This is a part of my ongoing little mini-series, getting every Call of Duty Platinum I want to, because since the Black Ops ports dropped, I have just fallen into a little bit of an addiction, to say the least. But after getting this Platinum, that marks a grand total of 14 Platinum Trophies across the Call of Duty series. Not bad if I do say so for myself. I do believe that there is at least 4 more to get, but those are, Black Ops 4, which is basically impossible because Blackout is more dead than my grandmother. Also, Infinite Warfare, which has been impossible to get for a while, so yeah, GG. Anyways, in today's video, I did get the Platinum on Advanced Warfare. It took me 22 hours to complete, which is a bit more than the suggested time. There is a total of 51 trophies, including the Platinum Trophy, and it's rated at an honestly pretty low rating of 4 out of 10 for difficulty, which I would, genuinely raise to a 6 after doing it, because this game is far harder than a lot of other Call of Duty Platinum trophies. But with that all said, let us begin. Now, this game, unlike most in the COD franchise, only features 2 modes that we have to play for trophies, being Exo Survival and the Campaign. There is nothing else in any of the other modes, thankfully. But starting off with Exo Survival, this is Stage 1 to get every trophy inside of it. There is 5 total trophies in this mode, the hardest of them all being called Flip Flop from flipping a map twice. Now, this is not a complex trophy, it just simply means you must reach round 25 twice in one go, because upon reaching round 25, it then resets you over and it makes it harder. Now, before I go any further, this game mode is very hard. I spent literally 8 hours dying over and over trying to get a double map flip, and it was insane to say the least. The enemies on late rounds quite literally will drop you in like 4 shots. It's pretty gross. Now, it is made much easier with a friend, but I have no friends, so I'm gonna please drop a like and subscribe. I am desperate. Alright, now getting into it for real, I first just started playing through the first few maps. There is 3 tiers of maps in Exo Survival, and you have to play a certain amount of waves to unlock the further tiers. After unlocking tier 3, you then have to play, I think, about 100 waves to unlock the final map in the game, which is called Riot, and it's technically tier 4, I guess. But inside of that map, there's a little Easter egg trophy for this mode called Exo Survivor, where you get to exfil from the area as zombies chase you and you survive, I guess. Now, the first few hours of this, not much really happened. I didn't get any trophies at all, and I was pretty much just getting used to my butthole being opened by mechs and just everyday stuff like that. Now, fast forward to tier 2 rounds. I was in the midst of those at this point, and I finally did get my first trophy of the game. It was called Class Warfare from playing 30 minutes with each class in Exo Survival. There was 4 classes now, but apparently on launch there was only 3, so this really does only take 90 minutes to do it. It did take me a bit longer though, because I was just using the light Exo for the majority of the time, because I just wasn't going for that trophy, and it's also the best for movement. We aren't going for the late rounds right now. Anyways, here's that trophy pop finally. Now, moving on from that, I then just kept on doing the usual. This mode is incredibly boring and tedious. I don't think I really had that much fun with it at all. It's quite literally just the same thing every single time you play, just on a different map, and it's also very annoying because dying in it is very easy and it just kind of happens. Like, this game mode goes from 0 to 100 in seconds, and it's just infuriating. But I did finally begin to get better, and I don't really have a method for this mode, but I did manage to flip the map again finally. Now, again, this is done by just reaching around 25. So after about 4 hours of grinding, this is the first time I ever reached round 25 on one of these maps. That is insane and sad. But long story short, I pretty much just finally reached it. I did lots of running around and just screaming for my life. But I did it, and here's Joy Pop. Now, like I said, after you do flip the map, it gets harder, and I would end up dying in round 2 of the flipped map. It gets a lot harder if you can't tell. Now, moving on from that, because we did just flip a map, I got a little bit addicted, and I decided to try my best to get the other flip map trophy, which is the hardest one, obviously. And I didn't believe my ability to do it normally, because I literally just died instantly after flipping it once, so yeah, it's not a good sign. So I did a little bit of googling, and apparently there's a glitch that you can do which gives you infinite respawns in this game. Now, this glitch is very weird. You have to place a turret and then enter a little tunnel as a tsunami happens on the map that happens on. I actually did manage to get it to work after a few tries, but the glitch itself itself kind of sucks. You can't buy any upgrades, any guns, pretty much anything. And after dying like 20 times, it just stopped working. So GG, I guess. I have no clue what that was, so I didn't do that glitch anymore. Anyways, after that, I then got fed up not getting any trophies, so I just farmed out the one from just playing 50 matches. And this is very easy. If you just spawn in, then use a grenade at your feet, and somehow you magically end up back in the lobby ready to do it all over again. So I did that for about 30 minutes, and it was very boring. And then when I hopped on later to just play this Diarrhea again, I did get the 50 games trophy, so here's that trophy pop. Now this map I'm playing now is in tier 3, and it's called Green Band. It is the best map to play in tier 3, and probably the entire game in terms of just going for high rounds, because you can sit on this little balcony that I'm on in the back of the map, and the enemies cannot hit you up here unless they jetpack fly up on one of the sides, and they can only go up on one side, so it honestly is a very goated area. Now this does not mean you are invincible, because they will still throw lots of toxic grenades at you that can literally murder you in seconds if you don't get out of the radius. There also is drones, warbirds, and just a lot of unfortunate timing, to say the least. But I gave it my best shot, and I would end up map flipping quite a few times here. The first time I flipped it, I actually ran all the way to round 22, nearly getting the trophy before I had a poor objective, and I died while trying to do it. You don't have to do these objectives, and you really shouldn't in these late rounds, but if you don't do an objective in this game, you do get punished, and you have to hope for a good punishment. Not anal beads or anything fun like that. But something like sentries just appearing around the map, which don't really matter, and you have to hope that hellfire does not be rained down instead. Anyways, I then flipped the map again on the following round. You could say I'm getting kind of good at it now, and I actually made it all the way till round 23 this time, so one better. But my cause of death on this time was actually the warbird. I just could not knock it out of the sky, and it just completely destroyed me. It shredded my foreskin down to fucking Parmesan cheese.
I love fresh Parmesan cheese on my pasta.
And I had to drop down from that balcony, and then I got railed to finish, so GG. After that, however, since that was a lot of rounds, I did unlock tier 4 in the bonus riot map. Now this trophy here is called Exo Survivor, and it's not hard to get at all. It just requires us to reach round 11 on this map, and then a little intermission happens, which then spawns in a bunch of zombies. Now the zombies are actually pretty fast, but it's still not hard. In fact, I'm a little confused why they didn't make this harder, or after, you know, flipping a map that would have been perfect, would have made much more sense. But nothing in Advanced Warfare does make sense, so actually this is fine. Anyways, after fighting the zombies for a bit, you eventually get an exfil timer, and you just have to run there. It's not hard once again. After making it, you then exfil out and the trophy pops, so GG, I guess. I then took a 4-day break from playing this dog Diarrhea because I did not want to. But once I did finally turn on the faded PS5 once more, I locked in and I got the flip-flop trophy first try. It took me nearly 2 continuous hours in one run to get this trophy, and it was awful. I nearly died many times. The heart was beaten, and I did not feel okay. My blood pressure is an unsafe level. But long story short, I just simply did not choke like before, and after taking out the final enemy on round 25, the trophy then popped once the on-screen graphic disappeared into the void, and that is the Exo Survival trophies finished off with. Alright, so welcome to stage 2, the campaign trophies. This stage has us going into the Advanced Warfare campaign, beating out on veteran, getting all of the intel, and doing a plethora of miscellaneous trophies across its entirety. The Advanced Warfare campaign is set in a futuristic world with our character being named Jack Mitchell. Fun fact, he was voice acted very minimally by Troy Baker, who also did Joel from The Last of Us. I'm not sure why they didn't give him more voice lines, because he's a goddamn silent protagonist in everything but the cutscenes. This game is trash. How do you waste a man's talent like that?
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways, this campaign, in my opinion, blows. I know some people say it's underrated, but I feel like they should play it again and then rate it again. I'm not sure if making the main villain Kevin Spacey had something to do with it, but actually, who am I kidding? Of course it did. I cannot take this game seriously in 2026 after, you know, knowing all the stuff that happened with bro. It's just insane. Also, the plot for this game is literally just a fucking reattempt at the whole Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 arc with Menendez and, you know, world domination with a military cult. It's like the exact same thing, but it's just far worse, more predictive, and shittier. There is even massive time jumps throughout it to make it seem like a story is building in the world, but it's really not. It's just Kevin Spacey trying to touch us in a sexual way. But getting to the story, because we must, the first mission had us diving into South Korea, if I remember. Please forgive me for the details on this game. I played it, well, actually only a few days ago, but it's very forgettable, and I also did just play all of Halo, so my mind is just jumbled up. The weed I'm smoking is also not helping. Anyways, you dive into South Korea, our pod gets shot out of the air, so we just land in a building, and there is then just conflict basically right away. This entire mission just had us moving through the city, and it's very much a tutorial of sorts into the world we are playing in, the controls, tools, etc. This campaign's veteran also is kind of hard. It's not anything insane, but it's not easy. I also would end up getting a trophy pretty fast into it called Not on My Watch, from, and I quote, preventing the walking tank from being destroyed by the drone swarm at the beginning of this level. I'm also not positive if this is a story trophy or not, but regardless, it's very easy. Just do what the game tells you and shoot the drones with a turret that we have to man. It's very simple. The trophy then popped after all was said and done. You then just fight through enemies down numerous streets in typical COD campaign fashion. During this, I got another combat trophy called Threat Detected from painting 10 enemies with a single threat grenade. The threat grenade is a type of grenade which, once thrown, marks all the enemies in the area with a red glow. It's very nice, probably the most OP tool ever introduced to COD, but hey, there's a trophy pop. Now, my next trophy was from completing the first mission that we are on. And long story short, again, you basically just fight enemies the entire time. There is finally a goal at the end of it from recovering some bombs from our fellow bomb squad mates who are no longer here. Haha, this meme is actually perfect because it's from this game if you didn't know. Anyways, once you do recover the bombs, you then go and plant them, and we did it all with our best friend whose name is Will Irons. And this guy ends up getting his arm stuck in the ship that we were planting them on after we gave them to him. He then tries to get out for numerous moments, but all the while he doesn't seem too upset about it. I mean, I get being stoic and all, but bro, you're fucked. And he then blew up into a million pieces. Now, this is very important because Will Irons is the son of the game's, I guess, main villain, Kevin Spacey, or, I mean, Jonathan Irons, I guess, is his name. I feel like if you cast a well-known actor in your video game, you should at least try and make them look a little bit different from the real-life person, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I have $40 in my bank account. Anyways, after that explosion happened, I got the level trophy, and that was the first level of 15, by the way. Yes, this game has 15 fucking levels. I think I'm actually gonna cry while editing this video. But then I also upgraded our exosuit for the first time, which was also another trophy. This is a new mechanic where in between missions you can upgrade your abilities with skill points. Got them from 4 distinct challenges throughout, being just getting kills, headshots, grenade kills, and finding intel. Probably the most mundane goddamn challenges you could think of, but okay, bro. This is underrated for sure, dude. Now, the next 2 missions I played, I got no trophies in them besides just the finishing level trophy, as you would expect. And yes, every level in this game does have a trophy from finishing it, so hey, at least they got that right. But the second level was called Atlas, and this level is the first time jump that we have, where we start at Will's funeral and the infamous meme happens, which I have used for years here and there in videos. But then Mr. Irons, he recruits us to his worldwide private military company called Atlas. You may be able to tell where the story is going if you have been listening. What bad could happen when a military director loses his one and only family member? I wonder. Anyways, Atlas is a mission where you just go through training the entire time. At first, it was kind of cool because I thought we were actually saving the president of the United States, but then we would find out that that was all a simulation, and now I just feel stupid. You also get forced to do walking simulator for about 10 minutes, going through more training, and then you do have to save the president again. Don't we just love training in a video game? Haha. Here's a trophy pop. I hate that level so much. Anyways, moving on from that, the next level is called Traffic, and this level is in Africa, I think. I don't know, it's something like that. And it's honestly one of the cool levels. If I had to give this game one good point or good side to it that really did impress me, was the environments in the levels. You do some crazy shit in this game, and it looks amazing to the point where I was genuinely impressed with the level of detail, especially since this game is well over a decade old. The story and writing might be a bit reused and honestly kind of retarded, to be real, but hey, those level directors were trying, to say the least. Anyways, this level basically just had us chase down the game's first villain, who was named Hades, and he's basically just another military company guy for this thing called the KVA, who are the bad guys for like half the game, I guess, but you'll see if you don't already know. Now, like I just said, we were chasing them all down, and we had to get across a highway, which is why this level is called Traffic. Honestly, it was very fun. It reminded me a lot of Crossy Road, and now I kind of yearn for a rated R version of that game, which is first person, that is pretty much just like this. I think that will be awesome. Yeah, some indie developer out there probably already has it on Steam, to be honest. Anyways, after you make make it across the intersection, then do a very cool jumping on truck scene where we parkour from truck to truck in a busy afternoon traffic, and it was again pretty cool. Like I've been saying this whole level, the writing might be shitballs, but they fucking try to save it with the gameplay, and I applaud them for that. All in all though, this level ends with us crashing off a bridge and falling into some water below, which is pretty disgusting. I don't even know what the hell's going on down there. And we end up dragging some dude at the back of the truck. Turns out it wasn't Hades himself, it was just some other guy. Now, I also have no clue who this guy is. I also don't think we ever really find out, but he's important, I guess. And then the level ends off with the trophy pop, and I also spent my 10th upgrade point as well, getting another upgrade trophy. Yes, you do need to get all the upgrades for a trophy later on, and for reference to how grindy that is, that was my last trophy in the game, so GG. Now again, the next 2 levels I got nothing else in besides their completion, but the following one was called Fission. Now this level is actually very fast. Its entire plot has had us going to a terrorist KVA power plant and shutting down the reactor inside because it was about to blow up, I guess. There's a ton of fighting. It's actually quite hard. I died quite a few times here and there, but all in all, we failed to shut it down, so we had to just escape, and on the way out, it all just blew up, and it was chaos, literally ending with us just being buried alive damn near by the rubble. But Jesus Christ himself flew in with a multi-million-dollar helicopter, and we lived, getting the Troy Pop afterwards. So next up was called Aftermath. This mission was far different than the previous one. Another time jump did occur, and it's now 4 years later. Why did this occur? I don't remember, and honestly, I don't recall if it had any significant reason besides just because. But we are in Detroit, and there is slave camps everywhere. It's pretty much how those people live right now, so not much of a difference. But the plot this time was us actually trying to find this scientist guy who has been involved with Hades and making some very bad things with the KVA. The entire mission then had us doing this sort of half stealth, half full out, balls deep, ramming our junk combat. It's very confusing the angle they wanted with it. But at the end of the day, we did get to ride some very cool vehicles, so yay. My dopamine receptors are firing so much. I'm kidding. I fucking hate my life. This level again was also pretty quick. The hardest and longest part was right in the middle when pushing this vehicle up a street for cover because I kept on dying. I probably reset like 12 times here. It wasn't much fun. Anyways, we then found the doctor after breaching the room he was in. I guess he wasn't a scientist. Who cares? You then exfil with him on those cool bikes, and this actually is a scripted section, so as long as you follow our boy, you can't even get hit. And that's a trophy, but I didn't do that because I'm stupid, so Its Illusion. Anyways, that's about it, and here's the story pop from the level's completion. The following level was then called Manhunt. And this level is one where you're trying to assassinate Hades himself for real this time. And I remember it very vividly because the intro of it was so fucking ridiculous, I can't even put it into words. You operate like 3 security cameras at this plaza, and you have to spot a man who is our target. There is no description of him at all, and you only get about 30 seconds to spot him on veteran. It's goddamn near impossible to do so. And even after I did look it up, because I mean I failed like 50 times, it's insane, I still could barely get it. To complete this on veteran, you have to quite literally instantly swap cameras twice to the left and then look down because the target will be walking under our camera. It's genuinely a retarded design there, boys. What the fuck are we doing? Now, the reason in spotting that guy was so we could track him to the nearby KVA safe house, which we then snuck into and took out every single person inside. This then led us into controlling a wasp drone and helping the rest of our squad sneak into this big ass facility where Hades was at upstairs. He was having a meeting with some other bad dudes, yada yada yada. Fast forwarding through all of this, you end up finally taking the shot, and it turns out that Hades we just killed was a body double. I feel like I've seen this exact same premise before in another far better Call of Duty game about a man trying to get world domination through his military cult, but it's fine. I'm not saying that we're copying anybody here. Anyways, the rest of the mission then had us chase down the real Hades convoy because for whatever reason he is here. I have no clue why the real one would put up a fake body double knowing he's gonna get shot and then also be in the area. That literally makes no sense at all. Am I crazy? Also, I'm pretty sure this is the mission I confused earlier with, you know, the whole convoy thing. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, once you do find him, there's a very big scuffle. A long story short, the Huz next to us fails to manpower him, and then we slice his neck, and he basically just kind of dies right here. But in his dying breath, he said that Irons knows, so... Huh? Another hint at the rest of the game, and then the level ends with Troy Pop. So this next level is called Utopia, and this is the first level of the game where we see what's really happening here. I'm also going to spoil a lot of stuff because I don't really care to tickle y'all's nuts anymore. But you basically follow Gideon, our friend who works for Atlas, and Iona, who is the Huz, down into this basement of sorts in the Atlas facility. She then puts on this little holographic video showing Irons talking to that mystery man we saved from underwater forever ago in that traffic mission. And this dude, I guess, was a whistleblower who told Irons about about the KVA attacks before they happened, and then Irons just killed him and told nobody, letting like hundreds of people die. So yeah, he's pretty evil. Also, I'm gonna spoil the plot right now, so if you for some reason give a shit about Advanced Warfare, then skip like 20 seconds ahead. But Irons is developing a toxic gas that kills every single person who breathes it if they aren't inside the Atlas database. So basically, if you aren't a part of and working for his military cult, you just die instantly. Sounds like, you know what? Moving on. We then just got captured by Kevin Spacey, and he threatened to fuck us. Thankfully, he couldn't quite get it up in his old age of, Are you kidding? So his soldiers then tried to, but we disarmed them, took them out, and then we are now on the run from Atlas, and for the rest of the game, they become the main villains. In our escape, I also got 2 combat trophies. The first was called Genius, from killing 4 enemies with a smart grenade. Smart grenades are basically just homing grenades that chase after enemies, and yeah, they're pretty cool, so here's Droid Pop. And then got another one called Where Are You Going, from stopping an AST with an EMP grenade, which is also pretty much the only way to stop them on veteran because they have an absolutely absurd amount of health. But just throwing, I think, 2 solid, maybe 3 EMPs takes them out, and yeah, GG. I hate fighting those things. Anyways, the level then ends off with us driving this cool boat for a while, climbing a skyscraper under construction, and then meeting up with an old friend named Cormac, who was a part of our Marine squad way back when in the first mission of the game. Since then, he has gone undercover in a secret op for the military, which we then join in because durr. And here is that level's completion trophy. I also got another EXO upgrade trophy after him spending 20 points total, so here is that as well. Moving on, the next level was then called Sentinel, and this is a very big stealth level investigating Iron's facility to find out what he's planning. I believe this is also when you get that whole toxic gas thing revealed as well, but that might be a little bit later at this point. I don't even know. Long story short, you just stealth it out the whole time. If you do get caught, you do die, so you do have to make sure you stealth the mission. And during it, I also did get, or I guess collected, half the intel in the game. So I got my first collectible trophy, and here's a Droid Pop. We were then with Cormac again, and we ended up sneaking under this truck and getting drove all the way into the facility where they house the gas that I have been hyping up. You then eavesdrop and hear what is all going down. Basically just learning what the gas is called, and it's called Manticore. Sounds, kind of mundane. But moving on, to end off the mission, then place a tracker on the plane that's carrying it, and that's about it, with the level's completion trophy popping afterwards. So the next level is then called Crash, and it picks up basically right after the last one, once we track down the cargo plane, made it crash, and then land and fight our little titties off trying to secure the cargo, which is all over the place in this desolate and bleak, icy wasteland. It's overall a very fun mission. It's basically just a lot of combat and stuff, which is fun. But I did also get a trophy during it called Fly Swatter, which is from knocking down 25 total drones out of the sky with an EMP. It's very easy to do this because the EMPs in this game have a giant ass range, so here's the trophy pop. Moving on from that, Gideon, who is our boy at Atlas, ended up finding us in the wreck and teaming up with us because he is not a bad dude, and he finally sees how insane Irons and Atlas is. So he lures over this helicopter carrying the gas in a guise of teamwork, and then we shoot it out of the sky with a rocket. Secured some of the cargo before it fell into the abyss, and that is the level complete with another Troy Pop. Now we are sort of in the final bend of missions, and every single remaining one now, I wouldn't get any other trophies in besides just completing the levels. So I'm gonna breeze through these so we can talk more about the other trophies in this mode because there was some doozies later on. But the next level is called Bio Lab, and this had us follow around Gideon for like 20 minutes. It was insanely boring, very slow. Once you do reach the Bio Lab, I want you to guess what we're doing here. If you guess we're learning about the biohazard weapon that they're making, then you would be right. Oh my god, how are you so smart? Anyways, you then leave the lab and you take a tank to do it. Honestly, pretty fun. I love the big boom. And here's that trophy. Next up was Collapse, and this level had us entirely on the Golden Gate Bridge, chasing down Irons and Atlas. You then just all out fight, and it was honestly kind of awesome. Again, like I've said a million times, the writing for this game might be shit, but the level designers did actually do a great job trying to make something out of this game. And when the bridge collapsed, I think I nutted in my pants and the Troy popped. Next up was a mission called Armada. This one took place on a ship because it's called Armada, and the trophy icon is also a ship. It's a pirate ship though, for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. That makes no sense. I did die a lot, however, during it. Probably more than any level, just because the first portion is just all out war, and there's enemies at every angle penetrating us. But you pretty much just battle to take over the ship because, I mean, it's a goddamn warship right next to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is now destroyed. That is the Golden Gate Bridge, right? Or am I actually just an idiot? I don't even know. Anyways, once taking it over, the level is basically over. Here's Joy Pop. Next up was called Throttle, and this one had us drive a fighter jet for the intro part. Kind of cool, kind of not, because it's pretty much just us driving a very slow flying vehicle through a canyon, and that's about it. I feel like for a fighter jet, I would have expected a much faster flying portion, but whatever. Once out of that, the goal is then to just destroy these 3 turret positions in the city. After that, you then fight more enemies, and then they just drop some of that Manicore gas finally, which shows us what it is, I guess. We don't die because we are ex-Atlas, so we're still in the system. I feel like that's a bit of an understep from the military genius here, but hey, there's Droid Pop. The second to last level then begins, I believe, which is called Captured. And this one picks up after the gas did get dropped because we did get captured and we got brought to Iron's prison facility. He also made an appearance again, and he talks some smack with those big-ass lips of his.
Hello, Steven.
And again, we just escape because we have to. It's a part of the story. You then fight your way out the prison. We escape in a truck. Interesting choice of vehicle. And here's a Droid Pop. So the final level then began now, and it's called Terminus. This mission was all about us finding Irons and taking them out for good. You also do get to use an AST for a large portion of the mission, which was very nice. And during it, I also found the last piece of intel I needed, getting that collectible trophy finally. Anyways, the real goal here was to stop this rocket from launching, which had a ton of Manticore planned on it, which was going to spread across the entire globe, causing mass destruction. So we just drop down into the excess like fire out of the booster little shoot thing, I don't know what you call it, and you pretty much just shoot the boosters as it's trying to launch. Literally nothing major happens. It just sort of kind of ends and it doesn't launch, so cool. We then got caught by Irons once more. He then talks some more shit, but then he learns the facility's about to blow up, so he runs away. And we, for whatever reason, were able to slip out of our exosuit, but Gideon couldn't, so I guess it was all up to us now. And you basically just have to chase down Irons. At the very end, though, there is an insanely hard and weird quick time event where you have to melee the literal final enemy of the campaign. And if you do it too fast, you die. If you do it too slow, you also die. And if you don't do it at the most perfect time, then you're gonna die over and over. It took me literally 10 tries to get this. Just fucking stupid. Why would you add this in? Talk about ruining an ending to a game. Jesus. So then we did catch Kevin Spacey, and we dropped him off a building. Bye-bye, bozo. Also, Gideon apparently got out of his suit, and he's fine, I guess. So that's cool. The credits then rolled, and I got 3 trophies. First was the Veteran Trophy, then the Hardened Trophy, and then the Complete Campaign Trophy. So it is now time to go and get every single other trophy. Welcome to the cleanup, baby. So this is the cleanup stage of trophies. I had 18 trophies left, I believe, if my counting is correct, but you know, it might not be because I did not go to college and I am a product of the public education system in America. Now to start off this honestly pretty large cleanup, I threw the game on the first level to get 2 trophies. First being called Never Saw It Coming, which is from boost jumping, dashing forwards, and then air stomping an enemy. This is not hard to perform, I just never did it because on Veteran you would have got your pubes plucked out of the air before landing. So I just threw it on easy and I did it on the first good group of enemies I could find, and here's a Droid Pop. In the same level, you can also get a car door a little bit later on when near the bomb squad part, I believe, and then just simply throw it at an enemy for the karma trophy. Haha, little pun there, but sure, whatever that sound effect is. Anyways, here's that trophy, very simple again. I then threw on the Armada mission, and I again got 2 more trophies, being the Man Overboard trophy and the Escape Artist trophy. First was Man Overboard, which is just from meleeing an enemy off the ship. This is best done when some enemies zipline in right by the edge, then just hit them off. It's very easy. Here's Droid Pop. And in the same area, you can also farm out the Escape Artist trophy, which is from avoiding 20 grenades by dodging them with the exosuit. And you can actually farm this best here because all of the grenades thrown are heat grenades, meaning they don't just blow up and they kind of just sit there and cook for a few seconds, which lets us run in and out a few times and dodge them. I think I got like 2 or 3 per grenade. So I just did that. It took a few minutes of farming, but all in all, very simple. Here's Droid Pop. I also replayed the Armada mission from the intro, and I quickly got the Loud Enough For You trophy, which was from killing 10 enemies affected by Sonic Blast, which is just an exo move. It's very easy, just activate it, then wait for the enemies to cover their ears, and then kill them for it to count. After getting 10, the trophy popped. I then chased down a few random trophies, first one being Maximum Overdrive, from just killing 50 enemies inside the Overdrive power-up. You can do this literally anytime. I don't know how I didn't get it while playing naturally. Just get 50 kills, the trophy then pops. I then did Riot Control, which is from using a mobile covered drone and getting 20 kills with it. The best place for this is right at the start of the level Fission, because one of these is right in the intro. Simply just activate it, then get 20 kills. It's actually very simple. Here's the Droid Pop once more. Now in this exact same area, you can also man a mobile turret off to the side, which isn't really obvious, and I actually ran past it and I had to redo the entire level again. But once finding it, just get 10 kills for the Fire and Forget trophy. Again, a very easy kill trophy, and here it is. I then played the traffic mission again, and I got the Look Both Ways trophy. This is from killing all of the KVA enemies in the traffic section without damaging a civilian car. A very easy way to do this is just run through all of the enemies and then melee them all, and you literally cannot void the trophy, so here's Droid Pop. That's exactly what I did. I then got a very annoying trophy called Wheelman. It's from finishing the hover bike sequence without hitting anything or taking any damage in Aftermath. This is that mission where we captured that doctor in Detroit and then rode those bikes from earlier. Now it's hard because obviously hitting nothing is challenging when the streets are just cluttered. I mean, it is Detroit, but it's also at the very end of the level. So if you fail, you have to replay like 20 minutes at least, and that's just ass. Anyways, the best way to get the trophy is just to follow Gideon, who is the guy riding in front of us, like a sad, lonely old man follows OnlyFans models on Instagram. Never let him leave your sight. Trail him like a hawk, and you should be good because it is, again, sort of story gated. I did it first try, and here's your pop. I then got 2 trophies, which were just kill trophies on different missions. First being sitting ducks from getting a triple kill with 1 sniper shot while using that drone on that fake, Hades assassination mission. It's very easy. 3 dudes will line up right at the start, so GG's. I then got a trophy from killing 20 enemies with the grappling hook in Sentinel, which is the completely stealth mission. This one actually was quite hard. If you do get caught, it sort of wipes away all of the kills from our last checkpoint, so you basically do need to do this in one go. You can't just checkpoint farm it. Took me a while, but I did get it, so yeah, not easy though. I then got 2 more kill type trophies, being restricted access and flying ace. Restricted access was from EMPing 10 aircrafts out of the sky when using the tank and bio lab. There is only 10 ships that will fight you in this section, so you need to make sure to use EMPs for every single one, but overall, it's not hard. I must have shot one down on accident with a cannon in the veteran run because that was probably the easiest kill trophy in the game. So here's that for doing all 10 without using the cannon. After that was flying ace from shooting down 10 enemies with machine guns in throttle. This one is thankfully right at the start when using the jet, and the trophy is just from using machine guns on enemy jets. So don't shoot the missiles, just use the guns, and yeah, really not much else to be said. Another very easy kill trophy. My last real trophy of the cleanup was then called heavy-handed from picking up 20 different guns and captured. This is the second to last mission, and you only have one arm during it because our other has been cut off. So it's kind of like a funny, gimmick trophy because you're supposed to just pick up guns the entire time. But you need to go through the entire level, and every enemy that is here, you have to kill and then grab their gun. There was only like 22-ish enemies total, so you really cannot miss any or you're gonna fail the trophy. I did do it first try, however, so it's really not that bad after all. But that's the last real cleanup trophy. And I say that because the last 2 I need are from just scoring excellent rating and the shooting range of Atlas. This is actually pretty easy, just don't miss, I guess. I did both pretty much first try, so yeah, here's both those trophies. And my final trophy of the game was then called Power Changes Everything from completely upgrading my exosuit. And the only challenge I was missing at this point was the grenade one. And you can farm these out in the training range, so I just replayed that over and over and over, used the EMPs, smart grenades, everything, and yeah, it's actually super simple and a good way to get that done. You do have to finish the level after to save the challenges though, so I did have to do that unfortunately. But after all was said and done, I then returned back to the EXO upgrade screen, bought that final upgrade, and the trophy popped with the Platinum Trophy on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So that was the Advanced Warfare Platinum Trophy experience. Overall, I didn't enjoy this game. Looking back at it, the levels were actually very cool, but the plot was just stupid. To me, it seemed like a Black Ops and Black Ops 2 ripoff, and making the main villain, Kevin Spacey, is, again, stupid. Probably the worst aged COD campaign I've ever played, and Call of Duty Ghost clears this shit easily. Goodbye.